You're now tuning into Girl Chat
Welcome to another episode of Girl Chat. It's your girl Amani.
and Paige.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Sydney.
And today we have a special guest with us. Special guest, if you would introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Griffin, also known as TALKwithJB.
Nice. We're so happy to have you. Thank you for joining us on Girl Chat. It's a long time coming. We've been needing to have you on here for so long now. So I'm glad that you're here.
Thank you.
Okay, so Jasmine, I want to get right into the topics. Well, first of all, we haven't done this in a while, so let me just backtrack for a little bit. Girl Chat 3.0, when we first started, it was all about just having good old girl chat, which is what we still want to like keep in the forefront. And we have good old girl chat over a glass of wine, a cocktail, water, what have you. So, ladies, what are you sipping on today? What y'all drinking over there before we get into these topics?
Well, I'm drinking water since I'm banned from alcohol due to my pregnancy. So baby due
Yeah.
in end of June. But I bet you somebody's bringing me a margarita after I give birth. Like I'm a
Listen,
newborn.
You already know.
So
that's right. That's right. My husband brought me Chardonnay after I pushed my baby out. I said,
that's
I
Amen.
a
love
good
that for
husband
you.
right there.
He is. Yes. I love that for you.
I'm doing red wine today.
Yeah.
I'm drinking good old water.
Okay.
Love the
What about
Where's
you?
your
hydration.
red wine, Tiffany? Where's the Stella Rosa?
I know, right?
Just like, not today. What about you,
I actually
Jasmine?
made a sangria this morning. I was excited about this, and so I was like, let me just make a sangria and treat
Oh,
myself
that
today.
sounds
So
nice.
yeah,
Sounds
Mm.
amazing.
Everybody take a sip for me.
I
We
Okay.
got you,
got you,
I'm
girl.
drinking.
Paige.
I have a margarita.
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay, yay. See, I just turned it up a little bit. Okay, so tell me, Jasmine, we know that you just published a book. I've seen you promoting it on Instagram. First of all, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
If you would, tell us about yourself and then tell us about the inspiration for your book.
Okay, so I know that typically when we ask each other to tell each other about ourselves, we go straight to titles. And so I've been working on how can I introduce myself without naming all of the things that I do.
I need to work on
Um,
it
right. And it's
too.
very hard. So I'm not going to say here say it's easy, but my name is Jasmine, and I honestly feel like I've been placed here on this earth to give back to people and just to help women, especially, but men also just find their voice and remember who they are supposed to be while they're here. But outside of that, I am a mom, I'm a wife, I am a counselor during the day. I also am a training officer for service providers who help individuals. So just essentially teaching them how to do their jobs better, and just kind of tapping into some of the pain points with that. And then also, like you just mentioned, I'm also an author, and that's the first time I've said that out loud. So
Yay! You wear
there's
a lot
that
of
as
hats,
well.
girl.
Yes, yes, I do. And which is why self-care is extremely important. But when it comes to the book, what inspired me to write the book, I'm not really sure that there was like a moment where I was like, oh, I'm about to write this book. I think it was more of I've been a poetry writer since since I was introduced to poetry back in elementary school when they had you doing like 4-line poems. And so I really took that very serious. I had a couple poetry books. My mom probably still hangs on to those, but it wasn't until about 10 to 12 years ago when I was in my previous marriage where I think I took writing very serious, and it was just like a private practice. It was just something that I was doing for myself in those moments to just jot down things that were happening or weren't happening, for me or to me. And so once I realized that I had a story to tell and I just wanted somebody to know, one person to know, that's when I said, okay, I'm just gonna start writing this book. And I just started writing it. When I published the book, it was 2 weeks until I told the world because I wasn't sure if I was ready. And I think that's what held me for so long because it took me, I think, about 8, 9 years to actually say, okay, this is done and this is ready.
You go, girl. I feel that. I feel sitting on like something because like feeling like, oh my gosh, can I put this out there to the world yet? But that's even more courageous that you finally were just like, you know what? Here y'all go. This is what I've been working on. Paige, I know you're over there dripping and oozing with comments and
Well, I
questions.
can
So
relate. I can relate to a lot what you just said because I'm an author too, and I think just one day, to be honest, I just had a dream. I like fiction stories, and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna write today, and it just became something like that I love. But I started writing poetry in elementary school, just like you. I don't know, I just loved poetry, and it's like an elementary school kid. You're over here trying to be like Maya Angelou and Shel Silverstein, like it's a passion. I love poetry too. So I'm like, oh, I can relate to your story. I understand. I like similar paths. So,
Yes,
absolutely.
I
And y'all
love
are both
that.
here in Dallas. I will just say that.
oh no.
Um, can you tell us what's the name of your book? Um, I know you don't want to probably share too much, but can you just give us a little something, something?
The name of my book is She Stood Up and Walked. I actually have it right here.
Yeah.
Kind of blurry for the computer, but it's called She Stood Up and Walked, Healing After Losing Yourself. Um, Essentially, as I stated, it's about my journey in my previous relationship and just how because I allowed other people to kind of dictate how I navigated life and essentially lost myself and was trying to come back to me, not knowing what that meant, not knowing who that person was. And just, it's a vulnerable piece and also give some tips and tricks throughout and some shared some of my poetry in there as well that I wrote throughout that time. And so it's just it's a reminder for women in general. But even though I've had men read my book, which I love, but it's a reminder in general just to not neglect yourself and that it is okay to say no and to walk away and to say, it's time for me to get back to me. Whatever that means. I don't know what it means right now, but it's time for me to get back to me.
That is beautiful. I will have to check that out for sure. Where can we find your book?
Yeah, you can find my book. It's in, as you mentioned, I'm on Instagram. And so Talk with JB, it's the link in my bio. It's available on Amazon. And you can also purchase directly from me if you would like. I have copies on hand that are here, and I'll give a little bookmark and another special gift if people do order directly from me. So both of those links are in my bio.
Wonderful. Any questions, ladies?
I'm
I
just
don't
sorry, go ahead.
No, you go, Sydney.
I was just gonna say, JB, I'm in love with the title.
Thank
Like
you.
girl, what? Like I am in love with that title. It's so empowering. So
It
I
is.
can't wait to read it. I
Me
really can't.
too. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I feel like I could just relate to a lot of what you're saying. I know you didn't give us like, the inside, of the book. But I can just kind of relate to your story just because I think with my previous relationship, like finding myself was like
Hmm.
a big journey for me. And I put a lot of that in my poetry. And you're kind of inspiring because I'm like, should I make a poetry book? It's no,
Yes, you absolutely should.
context, but the poetry of like the pain going through that situation
Hmm.
and getting out of it. And you could just see the change in tone. And I think that's really inspirational because honestly, if we don't share the struggles of when we do lose ourselves and have to find ourselves again, sometimes like you can help somebody
That's
else.
true.
And if you don't,
Hmm.
like you're not putting that out there to help somebody, maybe, not struggle as much as you did, or, just hearing something from somebody else could help somebody just move forward even a little bit more
Yeah,
than they would have. So I think your book sounds really inspirational. And I do love the title, like Sydney said. I was like, ooh, that sounds nice.
thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. That was one of the biggest things for me too, is just if I could just reach one person.
Hmm.
My husband asked me when it was published, she was like, how many copies are you expecting to sell? I was like, I just want to sell one. I just want one person to read my book. I'm not looking to get rich off of this or anything like that. I knew I needed to write it. It's there. It's there for whoever needs to hear it, or to whoever needs to see those words. And so, yeah, Paige, definitely write that poetry book though.
All right. No, I love that because I think I have the same mindset. Like, of course, I would have loved to get rich off my books and anything, but I think when I started writing, it was like if one person buys it and likes it, like I feel accomplished. So,
But I
like,
think that's
I
what's so
relate to that.
powerful. Like because of your intentions are so pure and so genuine and you're really trying to like make an impact and a difference. I think because of that, you're going to see the fruit and you're gonna get that financial outcome as well. So come on, let's make some
I
money, ladies.
receive it.
Yeah, for sure. And I also wanted to say, I know like you were coming out of or it's from a perspective of coming out of a different relationship and finding yourself after that. But I think us as women, just in general, like I know for me personally, coming into my 30s, like after kids, just like this moment now, I'm 33. I feel like I'm kind of going through that. Like I'm in the midst of that. Like, who am I now? Like now that I'm not just a mom or, I'm not just a wife or I'm not just a cheer coach or whatever that I'm trying to figure out like who Amani is today. So I think that your book would even be helpful for someone who maybe isn't just coming out of a relationship or did come out of a relationship, but someone who is just trying to figure out who you are today because we change what every 10 years they say. Um,
Mhm.
so just trying to like figure out what that looks like in this phase of life.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest moments for me with that in general was I had a therapist during that time. And I walked into her office and she said, and this is in the book as well, but she said, who is Jasmine? And I was like, wife, I do this thing for work. And she's like,
Yep.
no, those are titles. Who is Jasmine? What does Jasmine like? And I couldn't answer that question because I didn't know. And then the first thing that came up, and I always use it as an example, even with my clients, is ice cream. I love ice cream. And I forgot, like just simple things like that,
Hmm.
just simple reminders of things that bring you joy.
That's good. I think a lot of us don't know how to answer that question. I don't think it's
I
just you. I
agree.
think I think most of us don't know how to answer that question because like you said, we rattle off titles instead of, who we actually are. So that's good. That's
And
good.
we don't give ourselves enough credit either. I
Right.
think we rattle off those titles, not really thinking like, well, I actually am this. Like I'm a multifaceted person. I'm a boss. I am energetic. I'm ambitious. Like
Hmm.
even doing that, I'm like, well, do I start rattling off characteristics about myself? Like if I don't say like what I do I say like how I do it? I'm energetic. Like what does that look like? So I think that's a really, really good starting point for all of us. Like
Hmm.
write that down. Who are you? Who is Amani? And go from there.
That's good.
I think that's so powerful and fascinating how personal experiences, can turn into something universal. So kudos to you, Miss Jasmine.
Thank you so much, Tiffany.
I get it. I feel like we're on wavelengths here because
Hmm.
I think when I went through my journey, I kind of just realized like I don't fit the status quo all the time. Like I'm like I think I like to say I think it was a Dr. Seuss quote. It could have been a different poet, but it was just like if like basically he was saying nothing's wrong with being weird. Just find somebody else who fits your weirdness and like be happy kind of. And I just felt like I'm a little weird. I'm okay with it. I might like different things. Like I might be shy, but I might be like extroverted too around the people. There's just like more than just the titles. I feel like that you find that stuff when you go on those like self finding journeys. And sometimes we're forced into it because of life circumstances. But whether you're forced into it or you've decided to find yourself, honestly, it's an exhilarating kind of experience. And I guess it takes you out of the box a little bit and you learn to like accept yourself more in that aspect.
Yeah, I
Facts.
would
I
even
was
say Oh, go ahead, Amani. I'm
No,
sorry.
sorry, I talk a lot, so you gotta be like, girl, this, I'm the guest. Move over.
Not at all. I was just gonna add that we're all weird, like we're weird to each other. And so I think that we've placed again that title on ourselves to hold us or separate us from other people. And so I love that you said that, Paige. I just wanted to add that we're all weird in our own special ways.
I accept it. I accept it.
Yeah. And also, I was just gonna say, I always think back to that Miley Cyrus song, "It's the Climb." Even though it's really cliche, it's like so true. Like we are always looking at like getting to the other side of things, or
Mhm.
being on the other side of things. Like, oh, I can't wait till this is over. I can't wait till I get out of this phase. But then just taking a moment to like appreciate the journey, like what you were really able to get out of going through whatever you went through to get to the other side. I think is so awesome. And so you just like taking the time to write about that is like
Mhm.
just like this was like exploring your journey, like really validating the journey. And I think that's really dope.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
have you always wanted to be an author? I think you kind of answered that. You've been writing for years. But did you feel like the relationship aspect that you kind of overcome, did that like propel this book, or did that give you more purpose to write this particular book? Or do you just feel like that was just something that was gonna happen no matter what because you've always been a writer?
I definitely never thought that anything that I wrote would ever be shared with the world. And so um, this was something where I said, okay, I was feeling pulled to do it. Like someone needs to hear this. And like I don't remember who said it earlier, but our stories can help someone else. And so I didn't know who that someone else was. And so I was being led to like, Jasmine, you need to write this book. Someone is going to benefit from it. And just some of the feedback I've received already has confirmed why I did it. Like I said, saying that I'm an author feels weird, but it does exist now. It is a thing. But it was it wasn't something that I just woke up and said, okay, I'm about to do this. I'm going to be an author. Wow. I didn't even tell anybody I was working on it except my husband. And so it was something I was doing silently because a part of me at the time thought, okay, I'm going to write this, but I'm never going to put it out there to the world. It's just going to exist in my computer, you know? And so, yeah.
I have a segue. I'm sorry. So did he push you? Like, was he like, okay, you need to share this with someone? Or like, what was that you, because if you intended to kind of just keep it to yourself, like what made you be like, okay, let's put it out there.
I told him, I said, babe, I think I want to write a book. He's like, okay, do it. And like, that was it. And so
Yeah.
throughout the process of writing, I had to pause twice and go back to therapy because it was pulling things that I thought I healed from. And so that's why I feel like it took a while too, because I was like, man, I didn't realize like this thing still bothers me or I'm triggered by this. And so just having to talk through that. And so he was just encouraging. He's like, if this is what you want to do, just do it. But it doesn't matter how long it takes, just get it done because you said you wanted to do it.
That's a good man.
Hmm.
I love him.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. It sounds like
So,
your writing became more of a goal. It's become a calling for you.
Yes,
yeah.
you said it perfectly, Tiffany. Yes.
Okay, speaking of finding yourself, going on your own journey and discovering yourself. So how would you say you begin the healing process after a loss?
That is something that looks different for depending on what the loss is, right? And so if we're talking about a loss from a relationship, um, I always say that going through a divorce is like the person is dying if you are deciding not to stay in touch with them. But how to begin is just acknowledging that there is something that you need to heal from. I think acknowledgement first. And then understanding that grief is real and no one can tell you that it's not. it looks different for everybody. And there's a grief cycle that I like to use with my clients. And I say, this is probably the oldest grief cycle that exists. There's so many other new ones that are here now, but when I was in school, this is what they showed us. And I show it to my clients and I say, this is the grief cycle. You go through guilt, you go through anger, sadness, depression, and loss and confusion and all of the negative things on one side of the cycle. And then on the other side, there's opportunity, there's you're finding happiness, you're finding new habits and things and entering into new relationships. And so it doesn't look cyclical. It doesn't look like something perfect. There's no end to it either. And I think that's important for people to understand is that when you are grieving a loss, it can look like one day you're angry, one day you're frustrated, one day you're sad, and then the other day you're like, okay, I got this. I got this. I'm about to go out here. I'm going to put myself out and, do whatever it is, go on this date and put, whatever it might look like. But there are days, and we all have them, where we're not our best. And I think acknowledging that it's okay that you are still grieving, it is okay that you are dealing with a loss that someone else may or may not understand. But just knowing that you have to go through this process for yourself and not really depending on anyone else to help you through that unless it's a professional, because sometimes our friends and family won't understand what that feels like for us.
I think I get that. I think honestly, again, having a previous situation, like I got a divorce as well. To be honest, I know you can't always depend on your family and friends, but honestly, I think I had reached like a rock bottom that if I didn't get that push from them, I wouldn't have began my journey. To be honest, I couldn't see like the light at the end of the tunnel, and I can talk about it now because I think like you said, talking about it helps others because sometimes they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel either, and there's just like no hope. But like when you hear people tell you the same stories and like that's how I feel. Like they went through something similar and it could help somebody else. But I think I definitely needed that push. I think I had hit like the end of my rope and I just had no way of knowing what steps to take next. But when they put me on the path, and it's just like the journey to get to where you are now feels like once you get to the end of it, it's like you can respect that journey. You can look at the past and it still like may bring stuff out of you. That you might have to like again, I use a therapist too, talk to a therapist about, but it's just you can look at it more with like it has helped me grow and become like a new person. So
Absolutely.
I understand like the grief is real, but for me, I did need that push from family and friends. But like if you could do it on your own, like that is amazing. I wish I could have, but like you said, everybody's different.
Everybody is different, and I commend your people for being present for you. I think something for me was that I hid, and so nobody knew what I was going through. And so I had to come out of hiding by myself for myself. I leaned on a couple friends. I eventually told my parents, and it was a journey. That was a journey in and of itself because they're like, well, was the last 5 years a lie? Like, like what is going on? And so I was hiding from people until people didn't know that I needed them.
No, I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm a hider. What is your advice for the hiders?
I'm a hider too. So
I retract. Like if you don't hear from me, it's probably because I'm going through something, like that is what I do. And I like to go through things alone. Like I don't necessarily feel like I need, I'm that kind of person mentally. Like I have to internalize. So yeah.
I think if you're comfortable sharing, like if you're someone like you said, Amani, that you need to do this alone, that. But when we just think about the organization that you all have, Women Supporting Women, just checking in on your friends, not knowing what to say. I think we always think we need to have an agenda when we call somebody or we need something from them, but just calling just to say, you were on my mind. What are you doing? Like what's going on in your life?
So go ahead.
No, I've been talking too much, honestly.
No, it's no such thing. These are great topics. You guys are doing amazing.
Right. I was gonna say I'm a divorcee as well, and I went through the emotional state of hiding the issues and problems that I went through because I didn't want to feel pressured by my family to just get over it. I wanted someone neutral to kind of be, you know, a positive affirmation for what I was going through at that time. So just hearing the insight of what your book is bringing, it's almost giving us as listeners, you know, to have that permission to take time, which is so important for ourselves. Because again, healing does look different from everyone. So I can appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Money, you mentioned like advice for hiders. I was just gonna say I was a hider too. Honestly, it was more so my situation got forced out into the open.
Yeah.
Like it was just I don't even know if I have advice for hiders. You would like to say like just be able to talk about it, but telling people that it's not easy to be able to talk about it because if you are a hider, like you might be embarrassed about it and things.
Mhm.
And being on the other side of it is easy to say, if I would have just said something, if I would have just talked, if I would have just not been embarrassed, but it's not as easy as that. And like Jasmine said, just checking in. Your friends might not actually tell you what's going on, but you never know. Like in my situation, it was a slip up, and a friend found out, and then my parents found out, and then my other friends and family found out. So I think maybe the only thing I think is just like hopefully if you think your friend's going through something, like check on them, like Jasmine
Yeah.
said, and then maybe one day you'll find out something that can help them. So it's really hard to tell people who are hiders since I was one, like just talk about it because it's really hard to just it's easier said than done. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
No, you're
Yeah.
right. And I think that's just the importance of sisterhood. Just making sure that we are giving that space to our sisters, our fellow sisters, to feel comfortable that whenever they are ready, whatever that they have going on, that they can, speak about it or cry about it or just vent about it or whatever that looks like. I think that is our responsibility as women to each other, to check on each other. To, hey girl, I was just thinking about you, like what you were saying. I'm here for you, whatever it is. If you just want to sit on the phone and I don't have to say anything. Because sometimes we don't have all the answers, but I could just sit here with you. But I think just opening up the floor for that because it can get lonely out here. Life be lifing to everyone.
Absolutely. Mhm.
And we all be like silently going through things, and it doesn't have to be that way, especially when you have organizations like this. You shouldn't feel like you're having to go through things alone. But then you have women like myself that, you're just like, oh, I just put more stuff on my back. I just add more into my luggage. It's okay. I'm okay. And I think even for me, I have to practice being vulnerable. Even I think of like little schoolgirl stuff, like obviously I can pick up the trash, I can take it outside, but I need to be like, hey Trey, can you pick that up for me? Like, oh, it's so heavy. Like, just like making yourself do stuff like that, just so you can like alleviate some of the pressure from yourself. So I have to just practice being vulnerable. I think that's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, and I would just add to anyone who doesn't have a sister or have like that sisterhood or sisterly friendships out there that therapy exists for a reason. And a lot of my clients are hiders or once were hiders, but they felt comfortable enough to say, you know what, I need to talk to somebody. And sometimes they show up and just say, I don't know why I'm here, I'm just here. And so, like, being able to peel back those layers as a therapist, and I commend all Black therapists out there, therapists of color, like, we exist. So, it's okay to say, you know what, I'm going to seek help for myself because I don't trust or I don't feel comfortable with my circle of people in my life, but maybe I can tell this strange lady, my story and not be judged. So just wanted to plug therapists real quick.
No, for real, for real. And I will say, because you are a therapist, I have one more thing. like a free session. So when people say time heals, what do you say to that?
One of the main things I always say is that there is no rule book to any of this,
Okay.
to life in general. There's no rule book to grief. There's no rule book to finding yourself. It's the time that you take and invest in yourself is the time spent to however long it's supposed to take is how much you put in. And so when you're looking for yourself or trying to find yourself and trying to heal from something, know that there's probably not an end because it's daily work. Like once you do reach that point where you're like, okay, I'm good. I think I found myself. You still have to do your morning routines that invest in you before you go and be and do all to everybody else. Who are you being and doing to yourself? And so not neglecting or forgetting yourself again is the work that you have to do afterward.
And that was
That's
good
good.
because I think that was such a thing tossed around like back in the day. Time heals all wounds. And I feel like you just said it several times. Like you have to do the work
You
in
have to do
order
the
for the
work.
time to, yeah, like you can't just let time heal. You have to show up and do those routines and do the work.
And the clock keeps ticking.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So basically, when they say time heals, like it doesn't mean that there's like a time limit to that time heals. Like it could be like somebody could heal in a year, somebody could heal in 10 years, somebody could heal in 20 years. So everybody's like on their own time clock. And so I guess what I get from that is like you shouldn't be like too hard on yourself if you're like, dang it, it's been like 6 years. Shouldn't I be over this already? Or
And
other
people
people
shit on themselves
like,
all the time. I should be because so and so. And so don't compare yourself either,
yeah.
you know? And I think we do that so much. We compare ourselves to other women or other marriages or other, you know, whatever it may be when yours is different.
Okay. That helps too, because other people be like, how many years has it been? Shouldn't you be over that right
Girl.
already? Like,
Girl, mind your business, first of
Yeah.
all.
That,
See,
Mind
that's
your
why we're not
business.
cool though. No, but
yeah.
for real.
I'll get
that's
over it
true.
when I get over it type
That
deal.
Exactly. That's right.
Exactly. I always say, don't shit on yourself and don't let nobody else do it to you.
Absolutely.
Facts.
I love that. Yep.
Yep.
That should be a t-shirt. I'm always
It
to
should,
put on a
actually.
t-shirt.
Right.
Okay, so how can we pick ourselves up when we recognize depression? Just kind of getting into healing and all of that good stuff. When we do recognize that we're falling into, it could be situational depression, it could be postpartum depression, it could be just flat out depression. When we recognize those things, how can we pick up the pieces and continue to stay present? Because some of, like for me, example, I am a mom. You guys are moms too. Um, and it's like, well, I still have to carry on for my kids. I can't just be like having the blues. So how do we maneuver? Or can you speak on that?
Yes. Something that I tell my clients all of the time, and I've done this for myself, and I encourage everyone to do this on this call, is to, while you're not depressed, maybe you are, I don't know, right? Because we just talked about being fake and putting on a mask, but when you're not depressed or in that state of depression, write down 10 things, at least 10 things that bring you joy. What are those things that make you happy they don't have to cost $1 million, right? It could be something free. It could be walking down the street, you know, or going on a hike. I mentioned getting ice cream, just like whatever it is that will bring you some sense of joy. It doesn't need to last forever, but it's something that will help you in those low moments say, Jasmine, you're still here. And yes, you still have to be a mom. Yes, you still have to be a wife. Let's take this 10 minutes to eat this ice cream, you know, and then go back and be and do whatever I need to be or do. But I think it starts with knowing what will help you outside of other people. So writing those 10 things down that don't involve another person is something that you can do by yourself.
Okay.
I like that.
I
That's
love
good.
that.
I think the biggest thing I'm worried about is postpartum depression. Because like, how do you like I get the 10 things, I get that, like why you're before it happens and everything, but just like people don't talk about it enough.
They
But like
don't. Mm-mm.
I guess I and don't get me wrong, like giving birth, I'm worried about that too. But like the after, like postpartum, like
People don't
like
talk
if
about
I'm
that
in
either.
it, like will somebody
Mm-mm.
recognize it? Will I recognize it? Like what does that look like? Is like a first time mom or anything? I think that's what I worry about. I
Mm-hmm.
feel good now, but like that's like the biggest thing for like after birth because it affects like so many women, and like they say, sometimes you don't notice it until like it's gotten really bad. I don't know. I think I just worry about that. I need to do some more research.
I say don't worry. I
Yes.
don't worry about it till you got to worry about it. And maybe that's not good advice, but that's what I would say. Don't worry about it. Don't start putting those issues into your subconscious before they're issues. Now, obviously, I think it's important to be aware.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but don't lose sleep over postpartum depression. Like you can research it, know the things, what it looks like as much as you can. But I would think it would probably look different for everybody. I honestly still question like, was that postpartum? I don't know. I feel like I had a little bit of baby blues, you know. I did have moments where I was just like, I don't know. Like I literally would tell Trey, I don't know why I'm crying. I'm just upset right now. Okay. I just need a moment. And that lasted for maybe like a week or two, and then I was good. But for some, it could be longer. I don't feel like I necessarily experienced it with Prince Peyton or Penelope. I felt like I felt it for the first time with Parker. So it's so different.
Mhm.
Having a good support system as well, that helps when you start feeling the blues. Although my kid is 18 and grown and gone, I can remember, bringing him home and just breaking down crying like, oh my God, what am I going to do with this baby? But having a spouse there and my mom there to kind of help me and guide me, and having faith also brought that depression down as well. So just having a great support system to kind of help you get through those trials,
Mm-hmm.
that'll help subside some of that doubt that you may be feeling right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that mom piece is a big piece though.
Mhm.
Like, because I know if Beverly wasn't here, I would have lost my ever loving mind those first 2 or 3 weeks. Because, yes, my husband, he tried to understand and, bless his heart for trying to understand, but they just don't. Like, they don't get it. He didn't understand why I was crying. He didn't understand why I was upset. Like, nothing he did was right. Um, but my mom being here, she can just look at me and be like, go take a walk or go do this or go do that. So I think, like Tiff said, that mom piece, I think that's a big piece.
Yeah.
At least it was for me. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you're blessed to have your mom, grandma, somebody who's
yes.
been down that road,
Been there,
absolutely.
done that.
But I would agree um, with a few things that y'all have said is one, don't continue to talk about it, Paige.
Okay.
Don't manifest it because
Yeah.
that's what essentially you're doing. And so focus on enjoying the pregnancy now. And when the baby comes, just really enjoying those moments and pray that you have a support system because
Mhm.
where I think postpartum depression comes from, and I'm not quoting this from any type of research, is lack of sleep,
Mm.
um, and hunger,
Hello.
not being able to shower,
Yes,
so
The
yes.
shower part.
That's why I was crying. Like, when can I have a break?
can I just
Okay.
take a 5 minute shower? So it starts there. Like when you don't feel good, it starts to
Okay.
internalize and your mental and emotional states just they kind of go out the window. And so if you have the support, tap into it now, start to put those things into place now. Who's coming to stay at the house, who's doing what, if someone can cook for you, if you have a partner and if they're working, maybe someone else can bring y'all food or give you a gift card for DoorDash. I don't know, but just like try to tap into some of those things at least for the first 30 days because I think that that first month matters so much and will kind of define, in my personal opinion, it defines the rest, of what that first year looks like for you.
Agreed.
Okay.
I agree. I also want to encourage you to not worry about the birth either. Like, I know it's in the back of your head, but girl, it's gonna go great. Like, you don't have anything to worry about. It's gonna go great. And I had to psych myself out too because I was sitting here like worried, but when you worry, your body starts to tense up, and that's the worst thing that you can do in the delivery room is get tense. Like, you want to be able to breathe, you want to be like relaxed. So
And everything you're thinking and feeling, your baby thinks and feels.
correct.
Okay.
And that's really how it got me out of that mindset. Like, okay, I need to get him here and he needs to feel safe. And so I need to feel safe. So yeah.
Affirmations during this moment and in the birthing process were really big for me. Like I would be like, my baby is healthy, my baby is developing well, my baby is like, I would speak those things over my baby. Another thing is, I know that you've been privy to births. She's watched birthing. She was there in the room with me. So I will say this to you. Everybody's birthing experience is not your birthing experience.
Correct.
So we all have stories. I have 3 of them. So I know that some of them can sound and look like, oh my God, but that's not your story. That's not how you might birth. Or some people might be like, man, I just pushed that sucker out and it's just not your story, and your story is still being written. And so don't even think about all that stuff. Like they're saying, don't focus on all that stuff. It's going to be unique to you and it's going to be great.
It is.
And try
You
to
don't
stay
want
on
to hear my
Google.
birthday story because after 18 hours, I was ready for him to get out.
Get this sucker out.
Okay, I'm gonna try to stay off Google for sure.
Yeah.
It's a trap.
Mom Instagrams, just stay off of them. Just
It's
don't
a
even.
trap because again, everyone's story is different, and you may be like, "Oh my God, this is going to be my story. I have to do X, Y, Z." I think we all kind of went through. I'm just speaking for everybody, but I think we all went through that moment, and that's why I'm saying try to stay off Google.
Don't Google everything that's happening.
Don't Google everything.
What about WebMD gives you everything?
Girl, no, because they would be going to the emergency room for no reason. No.
Exactly.
But thanks for the advice. I think we got off topic. We talked about depression, but then I heard postpartum. I was like, wait a minute.
Right.
I already out there. Like now it's another thing on my mind. So
no, all good. But anybody have anything else to add about recognizing depression and how to pick yourself up?
the only thing I did have is like when I was going through therapy, like taking one day at a time.
That's good.
So, because thinking about like the end of the week, the month, just one day at a time, and that really helps me. Like when I get in, whether it's depression or not, like life happenings, just that helps me, through it.
No, that's facts.
Well, now off of got us off topic, talking about let's get to some happier topics. So next month is February and it is Black History Month. So what are you looking for most this Black History Month? Or how do you celebrate?
Yeah. I will say in our house, we celebrate Black history all year. But what I really love about being a mom is that I can watch these different shows that exist with my child and or talk through it. Like for example, Martin Luther King Day just passed, and so we as a family watched the speech, and then a suggestion popped up of a animated video, and my son was like, "Oh, I like him," and I was like, "Who is this person?" But let's just watch it together. And so we watched it and we're able to talk through like what that meant, what the march meant and all of that. And so I love just being able to one, have him last year. This started last year. He started remembering names. He's like, oh, that's Rosa Parks. Oh, that's
Yes.
Jesse
I
Jackson. Like
love
just
that.
naming people. And PBS Kids does a great job of,
They do.
curating some shows that are helpful, that teach and educate the kids. And so for me, I'm not gonna speak for my husband, but I'll say for me, especially, it's just like being able to learn with him, and
Mhm.
I'm learning new things, just
Right.
through
Yeah.
PBS Kids, like to be quite honest. And so just being able to do that with him and teach him at home. I don't homeschool. I heard you say you homeschool Amani, but he does go to school. He goes to a Montessori. And so just being able to make sure that at home we are teaching what we wished we would have been taught. Like now that we're
Mhm.
adults and we kind of know what we're missing or what was
Mhm.
missed. And so just having that opportunity to be a teacher at home.
I love that because I that's one thing that I'm just like not for. Don't leave it to the school to teach your kids Black history. Don't leave it to they don't know. And I'm not saying some schools there are you depending on the area or the demographic, you might have a lot of Black people in that school, but it's just not as elaborate and it doesn't go as detailed and a lot of things are left out. Just make sure that you are educating your kid also. We're not leaving it to school.
Yeah. And I think that's period. Like, don't leave the school to educate your kid on anything. Like, you should be the one. And this is coming from, I've been a teacher. This is what, my ninth year, almost my 10th. And it's just like, that's not their job. Like, yes, it is their job, but you have to finish it at home.
Yeah.
So, slight plug there. But for Black History Month, I think I'm honestly looking forward to going back to work during Black History Month.
Oh yeah.
I've, I've been on maternity leave since my last day was Halloween. So I haven't been around another adult besides my husband and, the few people I've seen since then. So that's going to be really exciting. But to just come back and to be able to pour into my kids during Black History Month, I think that is what I'm looking forward to. So
It's a great month to return
yeah,
back.
I
Yeah.
think so too.
I'm actually trying to think of some things to do at my 9 to 5 because I'm gonna be in charge of like celebrating Black History Month. So I thought about like finding like little posters with Black History Month facts and maybe changing them out each week or
Yeah.
something. And
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of ideas now. The ideas I think of now will help me teach, like you guys said, you're teaching your children about it like
Right.
all year, instead of letting school. So I think this is like doing it for work will help me be like, okay, how can I like teach this to my
Mhm.
kids
Get creative.
going forward?
Mhm.
So I'm still pondering, but I thought about like some posters with some facts, about
Yeah.
things that you
That's
don't
so
necessarily learn
good.
in a book or something.
Mhm.
I
No.
remember last year traveling to Atlanta, and being in their airport and seeing like all the Black history stuff that they had put up in their airport. And I thought, like, this is awesome. Like,
Mhm.
I don't even like businesses don't typically just put up Black history stuff all around. Granted, it was Atlanta, but it was just really, really cool to see. And even just now going into establishments like we have at the Dallas Rec Center, they have started putting up Black History Month stuff. And it's just kind of cool to peep like different businesses and stuff that are like, no, we see y'all. We're gonna put stuff out there. So
Mhm.
yeah, Paige, you should definitely do that for your uh employees and stuff to see,
Mhm.
be privy to that.
So for myself, for Black History Month, I am reading only Black authors. So of course, I started with Paige's book, Transition.
Yes.
And now I'm going through a series from Jaquel J. I'm reading her series. So yes, I am strengthening my mind with being more in tuned with supporting Black authors. So Jasmine, I will be purchasing your book as well
Yes.
and add it to my list of reads for Black History Month and so on.
I love that. That's awesome. And thank you in advance. But now you're giving me an idea of like, let me search for some Black authors. And my son has a whole library of books in his room. And I'm like, I want to see how many of these are actually Black authors, and maybe we prioritize those for this
Yeah,
month. Love that.
yeah. And I'm excited for Black History Month. Like I shared with you guys before the recording, I homeschool my kids, so I do get the opportunity to kind of just teach them different things, and we get to really elaborate on different aspects of Black history. And we did talk about Martin Luther King on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and them just becoming aware of that kind of stuff. And like I talk to my kids like they're grown. Even with the whole Target boycott, we passed by a Target. They're like, "Yeah, we don't shop there." My mom said, "No, we don't shop there because they don't treat Black people fairly." And then their grandparents calling me like, "What? You told your kids?" Yes, I tell them all the things. Like they know, they are very, very aware that they are Black and what we stand for out here in these streets. So I use that this month, although I should use more than just February, but I use that month to really like get down into the nitty gritty, and not just the things that are detrimental to us, but also the impacts that we've made and the awesome things that we're doing, not just in the past, but currently. So I'm looking forward to just teaching them a bunch of facts, just loading them down with lots of Black History Month stuff. I need to look up some like places for us to go, um, so that I'm not just telling them things and showing them videos, but I also am really big on letting them see how things can be put into application, or like going to a museum and seeing different things like that. So that's my homework now, is to find different places that I can take them to that can show them more of Black history in action.
I would say if y'all could do like a trip to Oklahoma and go to Black Wall Street, that museum about what happened with Black Wall Street and everything, it's honestly an amazing museum. And I'm so glad like my job gave me the opportunity to like go in that museum. I was just an extra in the group, but they took
Yeah,
one of our regions took all their store managers, every last one, to just kind of show them some Black history so they can see what it looked like in the past, just to open their eyes because they want to foster like a culture of belonging. And that was just one of the belonging seminars. And honestly, that museum, like I would encourage anybody to go through that Black Wall Street Museum. It can be like,
I love that.
it can be a lot to look at it and
Yeah,
see all the history behind it. But honestly, it was a good experience, and I'm glad like I got to. So if y'all could do a trip there, I highly recommend like going through that museum.
that's a good idea. No, for sure. My mom was like me. She was very raw and real with it. Like, this is what it was, this is what it is. I even did Rosa Parks monologues when I was younger, like for beauty pageants. That was my talent, to do the Rosa Parks monologue. And I did win Little Miss Sweetheart. So it was good. Um but I'm really like, yes, here for all of that. I want my kids to know without a doubt. Okay. What? So we're coming to the end of January, but as we entered into the new year, were there any habits or any New Year's resolutions that you guys started or said that you were going to do or committed to, that you're still working on or implemented?
I think I started my year without any resolutions. To be honest, I was still in my first trimester, so
No
my
expectations.
resolution was to sleep and get as much sleep as possible. So I didn't go into the new year like normally I go in like I'm gonna exercise more or I'm gonna eat better. But this year I'm just like I think I literally asked my partner. I asked him. I was like, "Can you just let me sleep through the new year? Like I don't care. Just let me sleep." So I wish I had some. So I guess just preparing for my baby. It's just my New Year's resolution.
Hey, that's a good one. You're growing a whole human. Just have a healthy human, period.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I think my New Year's resolution is to kind of step out of the box a little bit. I'm preparing to interview for a office manager role with Walmart,
Good.
but it's in a whole nother state. It's in Illinois.
Oh,
No, you're not trying to go to the Midwest.
Leave us.
Okay.
Oh,
Love Illinois though.
So I'm trying to hype myself up and encourage myself. Yeah,
You
to try to
got
step
this,
out of
Tiff.
that introverted state that I can
right.
sometimes be in. Yeah.
That's
So,
amazing.
where is your baby boy again? I forgot. I'm sorry.
So my son, he's right now in Camp Pendleton, which is
Okay.
about an hour from San Diego.
Okay.
He was getting ready to be deployed to Virginia, but of course the ice storm
Right.
pushed that back. So he won't be traveling to the Virginia area until about 3 or 4 weeks out.
Okay.
And then after that, he'll be working for the White House.
Wow.
That's
That's
He's,
amazing.
he's gonna be
Awesome.
he's gonna be White House security for the Marine Corps.
That is
That's
Absolutely.
so
wow.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I just told
Yes.
Trey today I want to go visit the White House. I've been to Washington, D.C., I've been to the monuments, but I have never been to the White House, like in it. Like I want to go in it. I want to
No.
visit it.
Going in the White House is awesome. Now, granted, I went in it when Obama was in office, but
Yeah.
going in there and just seeing it, it's just so grand.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that energy just
Beautiful.
around there in
Yes.
general. So I can't
Yes.
imagine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Tiff, yes, definitely praying for
Thank
you
Yes.
you.
because that is
Thank you.
awesome. Way to put
Thank
yourself
you.
out there. So proud of you.
Absolutely.
You're
Yeah.
gonna get it.
Yeah, you
Yes.
got this.
Yeah, you got this. You
Thank
got
you.
this. Um, I think like Paige, I didn't really start off with any resolutions because, my son was born in November, so I'm really just trying to keep him alive.
Yes, that's the
Keep
goal.
myself alive.
That's your New
But
Year's goal right there.
listen, but I think right now the biggest thing for me is I'm gonna start dropping him off at his grandparents on Tuesday for half days because my control issues are out of this world. But I think the biggest thing for me is just letting go of like the control because there's a big part of me that's like, you have to do this,
And them
this.
grandparents gonna do whatever they want.
They're gonna do
I'm just
whatever
gonna
they
tell you
want.
that.
And I have to like put my mind to it. It's like, okay, Sid, like you can't control that. And
Mhm.
they're volunteering to take care of your kid for free.
Yeah.
Like you gotta sit back and shut up.
Yeah.
You just gotta be quiet.
That part.
You really just have to be quiet because it's such a blessing to have grandparents and even, my mom is willing to drive down from Dallas when I go back to work to just, take care of my kid and not some stranger.
That's
So,
awesome. Yeah.
but yeah, so that's mine is to let go of the baby control. That's my resolution.
You got it too. He gonna be okay.
Yeah, I know.
I love it. So we don't really set resolutions, but we do kind of share our goals with one another in our home. And one of the things that I know I'm absolutely going to continue to work on is just my morning routine because some days it's great. And then
Feel you there.
other days it's not. So I've told myself 4 out of the 5 days of the work week, I need to do certain things before my child wakes up. And so becoming a mom forced me to become a morning person, I should say.
I feel you
And
there because I'm not.
so
I love my sleep.
my son he's 6, he's gonna be 7 this year. And when I say I wake up between 5 and 5:45 like clockwork, so I'm like, what am I doing with that time? So just being more intentional about how I'm spending that time is like the biggest thing for me this year. Um, And then as a family, we try to we've done vision boards in the past. This year I saw a reel and I was like, babe, we should do this. But someone did like a bingo vision board for themselves. And so they wrote bingo and then just filled each square in with different things. We just did this last week, where we all just kind of thought of things that we wanted to put on this board. So it wasn't so much pressure for one person to come up with 15
Everything.
things because bingo boards are big. But yeah, we just kind of did a family bingo board. And so just knocking some of those things off on that list that we want to do as a family, or just kind of holding each other accountable for each of the things that are in those squares.
No, that's so good. We started that this year also. Because I do one. Typically, I just do one on my own, or like we do one within Women Support Women, but my family, we've never done one as a family. So that was something that I was really intentional about this year. But my thing this year was to I'm a what do they call that? The introverted extrovert. That's me. Like, yes, I could be very outgoing, very like, hey girl, but to be honest with you, I want to be at the house on my couch under my blanket. Um yeah, that's just it, period. Like I do too much throughout the week. I do not want to be out fraternizing with anybody. But this year I said I'm going to get out there more. Because I have a whole organization and it's about building community and networking and I don't do any of those things. So that was my resolution for this year is to just put myself out there more, volunteer more, kiss babies more, network more, really support my fellow sisters, practice what I preach, basically. So that's what I'm about this year. So yeah. Anything else on that, ladies?
No, lots of good goals for this year, I think. So, of course, we have Girl Chat 3.0, but we also have Women Support Women. So we always like to kind of end our podcast, not end it officially, but like, how can we as women support each other? Like, what are your thoughts, or what have you seen, experienced that you could get, like advice you can give on how we as women can support each other so we build a strong community and be more for each other than against each other?
That's so good.
I feel like the first thing that comes to my mind is to give back, like what in whatever capacity you're able to, or whatever that means. Just like you were just talking to Money, just about being in the community more and being more visible. I think if we can just give, whether it's time, money, presence, like whatever it is that we can give to each other, we need it. We spend so much time on our phones. We need to put our phones down and be present with one another. So if we can give each other that and just go back to what life was like before we all used our phones for everything, I think that's a good place to start. I was in the park a couple weeks ago with my son while he was on holiday break, and there was a couple other moms there, and I just said, you know what? I have some books in my car. I'm about to just go give it to them.
Yeah.
I was scared, but I
I
did
love
it.
that.
And I said, and so when I say give, like whatever it is that you can do, and just say, hey, I saw you, wanted to do this for you, and that's it. Like not looking for anything in return, not looking for any type of recognition, even though it's nice to receive that, but you're really just doing it out of the kindness of your heart and being intentional about it, being genuine about it. I think that can go a long way.
No, it really can,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
I
Hmm.
think checking in on each other, like we talked about earlier, I think life, gets away from us, like between work and just what we have going on, whether, like, we just had a baby, we're going to have a baby, we have a whole family, we have our own entrepreneurships. I think what gets away a lot of the times, and I try to remember, is just checking in on each other, like calling my friends more, seeing how they're doing, like not letting much time passes by. Because honestly, you look up and you're like, dang it, has it been like 3 weeks? And it has. And you didn't mean for it.
Right.
But like we said earlier, just checking in, because of course, we love our family and our friends and everything. But I think sometimes we just let a lot of stuff just get in the way of that kind of fellowship with each other. And then we look up and it's been so long and you didn't know that this person been going through things and you would have wanted to support them or be there for them in some kind of way, or even just like speak to them. It doesn't even have to be something like serious. Like, have I spoken to this person like this week at all? Um, so I think one way we could support each other is just try to remember to do those check-ins with our communities and try to be there for each other even when nothing is going on.
I agree with that. That was good. I think we forget how to, and it doesn't have to be grand. It could just be like, hey, like you said, just checking in. Or you want me to come with you? Oh, you going here? Oh, you want me to ride with you? Like it could just be the smallest things. And I think Paige, we used to do that. I want to get back to that as well. And I know we're not we're like on a whole podcast, but we used to do stuff like that before all these kids. We were like, hey, what you got going on today? Oh, you gotta go to Target, girl. I'm finna pull up. We're finna just go to Target together. Or, like, yeah. If you can
No, if
do
I'm
that,
really bad at it, like every once in a while, I'm like, dang it, I didn't talk to Tiffany or Money or Sydney. Sydney had a baby. Like, have I
a
checked on
whole human. I know.
like, and I'm like, dang it, it's been 3 weeks. What the heck? I just feel like a horrible friend, honestly.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We all understand. And we all just do better. Um, for me, I think how can we support each other? I'm really because I am on social media all the time, and I'm in the business of pumping up other women who are also in business and doing their thing. That is how I tend to show up the most for people. So I'll continue to support you if you have anything going on, anything you want me to share or post. Like that is what I'm going to do. You came out with a new book, you want us to buy it? Okay, I'm gonna put it in my cart. I'm gonna buy it. Like things like that. That is how. Um, I think that I can show up for my fellow women. Um, yeah. And also I like being able to add women to my network because you never know who needs to be connected with that person. Like Jasmine, when I saw you came out with that book, I was like, Paige, you got to meet this girl. You got to know her. Like y'all are so similar. Poetry, previous, relationships. I'm like, this your new friend. This your new friend. So let me put her on the podcast so y'all can meet each other and talk to each other because that is what I do. So, I'm always looking for ways to connect women and to build our networks and to build our sisterhood.
I just
No,
want to
for
say
I'm
that I
like,
love
I'm on
that you
the
do
same
that.
wavelength. I'm like, who is this girl? Why have I never met her before? Like,
Ooh,
let's talk poetry.
yes. I'm
Right.
like, and y'all are in Dallas, so once we get off of here, y'all need to like for real, for real, for real.
I'm down. I'm down for a new
Yeah.
friend because
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the other thing. And I think that I think Tiffany, you brought up being an introvert. I'm also I'll say an ambivert. I'm situational. Like, is this a safe, is this a safe space that I can
That
come
that
out? Or do I need to go back on my couch under my blanket, like you
that.
said, Amani? So no, I am also one that needs to get out more too. And I think I need to add that to my list of things to do this year is just be more present, physically present for people and not hiding, at home and on the phone or whatever that looks like. So yes, Paige will be exchanging numbers. I would love to keep in
Yes.
touch with all of y'all, but yes.
Absolutely.
Anyone else? How can you support women or your take on how you can better support other women?
I feel like y'all covered it, honestly. I don't want to be redundant, you know?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
good.
agree.
Yeah. Then without further ado, we're gonna close. And I just want you guys to go around and plug your business, your Instagram handle, whatever it is, how we personally can support you. Um, whether it's share something or hey, just check me out on Facebook, Instagram, or I'm just I'm just here. Whatever that looks like, if you would share, you have the floor.
Well, I'll go first. I'm Paige. I'm an author, also the VP and event coordinator of Women Support Women, and a part of the Girl Chat 3.0 podcast. Um, you can find my books at pagewalkerauthor.com. And I write vampire fantasy books. So my books Transition and Awaken can be bought wherever books are sold. I also have a poetry book, Emotions, that can also be bought wherever books are sold. So you can find it on Amazon or find the links on my website. You can also follow me on Instagram at _Paige Walker.
So for myself, outside of work, I'm a freelance bartender. I'm the voice behind A Little Bit Tipsy, where real stories, laughter, and good cocktails meet together. I also share my We Got This post on my social media, which is a daily dose of courage, positivity, and real talk. Because no matter what life serves you up, I truly believe we got this. You can follow me on LinkedIn, Tiffany Franklin, TikTok at Tiffany Franklin 28, and Instagram, she_is_ghost.
Well, my business is currently on hold. I'm a math teacher by trade. And so I usually do tutoring on the side, but right now, because of my little one, I'm not doing that. But so we can keep it in the family. My husband has a business, Sleepy Financial LLC, and he has a Discord where you can go on and get stock advice and ask questions with him and things like that. So if you want to follow him on Instagram, it's Sleepy Financial LLC, and his name is Marcel3. So
Wonderful. Jasmine,
Awesome.
you wanna go ahead and plug yourself up, girl.
So yes, again, I'm Jasmine. You can find me on Instagram at TALKwithJB. I also have the link in my bio to my therapy page if you're looking for a therapist in the state of Texas. And then also the links to buy my book are there as well. So yeah.
That is awesome. I wonder if it would be a conflict of interest. I've been looking for a therapist. Um, I'm like, I need to just come on over
A
to you.
friend therapist, it just
I'm like, yeah, is it a conflict of interest? Like,
I don't know.
Can I
It
just
probably couldn't be on like an official state of
just
business.
like spill?
It can be, but I can recommend my therapist who is absolutely phenomenal. So I can get you that information on the
Okay,
side.
that's fine. Um, But I'll go ahead and plug myself. I'm Amani. I do lots of things. So, one being I offer private cheer and dance lessons, whether that is choreography, you're looking to learn to tumble, things like that. Not adults now. If you have children who are looking to, get new skills when it comes to cheerleading tryouts are coming up, things like that. I do that. Um, so you can look me up, Universal Cheer and Dance Co. .com. You can also just look me up on Instagram, Amani J Tyler, and you can click the link and it'll take you to everywhere you need to go. We have a family YouTube channel. I also am the founder of Women Support Women Co. And so anything that you are looking for, whether you're looking for a community of Black women to pump you up, we are where you need to be at. If you're looking to add women to your network, look us up, Women Support Women. If you're looking for networking events or ways to give back and to get out there into your community, Women Support Women Co. is your organization. Um, we have a lot of things coming up this year. Every year, we're doing more and more things to be more visible in our community, to be more of that sisterhood network that you're looking for. So definitely get connected with us. You can visit www.womensupportwomenco.com. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. Again, if you just visit Amani J. Tyler at Instagram, it'll take you to all those places. So yeah. I thank you guys so much for taking the time to come on here and chit chat and have some good old girl chat. Is there anything else that you want to leave our audience with before we say goodbye? Okay, well, we did that. Thank you, Jasmine. I'm so glad that you
Thank
came on
you.
here. Thank you for your time. I know it's a Sunday and it's snowing outside, and so everybody trying to get back to their couch.
Under the cover, girl, under the
Yes,
cover.
yes,
But thank you for having me. This was a joy. I really appreciate you reaching out to me and just being able to meet everyone on this call. Looking forward to staying connected.
absolutely. And speaking of staying connected, we are having a vision board party coming up in March. So, to my listeners, to you, Jasmine, I would love for everyone to be a part of it. You can join us virtually if you're not locally based in Dallas, Texas, or you can come in person. So, more information will be coming out on that. But just building our own vision boards, like we were talking about, so that we can manifest the goals and the things that we want to see come into fruition for ourselves. Right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Girl Chat 3.0. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.